these aren't just my opinions, these are facts. And I've been a part of that statistic for a big part of my life, from early teens until my early 30s. I was getting tricked into thinking that I needed or deserved this cheap pleasure in drugs, alcohol, food. And what was even worse was thinking that those things would help alleviate the pain of my day to day life, but it was temporary. This cycle created a negative mindset that spilled over into almost every area of my life. And I was stuck, but I didn't realize it. And I didn't realize it because I trusted myself and I thought that these temporary pleasures were what I needed to solve all my problems. So I was creating all of these negative results in my life, and I continued to run to these bad habits for relief, not realizing I was only digging myself deeper and deeper into this hole. And this is a very, very common problem these days. People are not able to face their problems head on. They run from them and try to drown them out with vices that only make matters worse. They settle for this life they've created, and it might be you. This life that's full of results that you don't like, from how you look to how you feel, your relationships, your finances, and the list goes on. When this is happening, the blame is usually placed on everyone and everything around the person. No matter how you look at it, we are the only ones to blame for our situation. And this is the beauty of life, because once we understand that we are in control of our life, we can begin the process of stripping away these negative vices and habits that got us into this position that we don't want to be in. And we can begin the process of building a new positive reality by instilling these new habits that lead to outcomes we've always dreamed of. And I have a free guide in my description that goes over this process. But in this video, I want to go over the two things that, if you implement them correctly, will change your life forever. First, you have to change your mindset. Then you build your body. So let's start with mindset. If you've made it this far, you probably are experiencing negative results that you aren't happy with, right? You might be struggling with these negative vices. Or, like me, 8 months ago, you've probably hit this rock bottom moment and you have no choice but to make a change. So let's break the mindset construction down into three parts, three steps, right? I've learned to call it building the prolific mindset. So step one, identify all of the habits that aren't serving you. Is it alcohol, drugs, scrolling online, overeating? Write it all down and list out all of the problems that these vices cause. So for me, alcohol was one of my biggest vices. I would drink, act out of character. I would do things that disrespected my marriage. It caused a lot of bad financial decisions. I was overweight, out of shape, and all of these negative consequences. I knew it was a problem, but I was stuck in that cycle, like I said, of being unhappy and running to the alcohol to mask all of that pain that was being created from it. And this leads me to step two. Once you identify the vices that need to go, make a list and identify the person that you want to be, right? Really visualize it and get specific. How do you want to look? How do you want to feel? Are you in good shape? What's your character like? How do you act? How do you carry yourself? What's your confidence like, right? What do your relationships look like? whether you're in one or not, or if you want to be in a relationship, what would that future relationship look like? And then consider your career, right? What does that better version of yourself do to earn a living? Because the fact is, we are all in this process of building ourselves up or tearing ourselves down. So, again, I'll go over my example. I drank for over 15 years and I had gotten to a point where I was drinking almost daily, right? I looked terrible. I felt horrible. Like I said, my finances were falling apart. I had just lost my business. My relationship with my wife was heading towards divorce. And I had to decide if I wanted to continue being this person who was out of control or if I was ready to, take accountability and accept all that responsibility for my actions to finally make a decision and become this person I knew I always needed to be. And keep in mind when you're building this person, you might think you want to do it for your family, right? Or the people around you. But the most important person you have to do it for is yourself. Now, final step 3 for building your mindset is once you've made all of these identifications, start stripping away those things that promote negativity, right? This is important, right? It could be from the music you listen to, the people you surround yourself with, the type of content that you consume on the internet. All of these things add up, and understand that your brain is like a supercomputer. So all of the data that you put into your computer will then produce results, right? Whether you realize it or not. So it affects you from the actions you take down to all of the chemical reactions that go on inside of your body, like stress, um, fatigue, things like that. So if you don't know what to replace these things with, start by reading books, right? Books that promote positivity, dive into topics like business, spirituality, growth, wisdom. Watch YouTube videos, podcasts that are positive and stimulating. So again, for me, I'll use myself as an example. It started with one person, right? And this person introduced me to a different perspective on life without even either of us knowing it, right? I could just see that this person had this certain charisma about him and he was always so positive and I could feel it. So it led me down this rabbit hole of wanting to learn how I could emulate that positive mindset, right? How I could exude this positivity when I enter a room. So I started in the same place by, like I mentioned earlier, I was reading books. I started watching videos. I even started speaking differently, right? So it's a trade off. You drop negative and you fill it with positive. So once that mindset shift begins, you then have to take action to solidify it, right? Because that's where, and this is where building your body comes into play, right? Because it's more than just the reflection that you see in the mirror, right? It's the process and the actions that you take that produce that reflection. So think of it as process driven. Don't focus or get too hung up on the results, right? So another example is not example, but to drive this point home is there's only one thing that we have complete control over in our life, right? We can't control what this person does. We can't control the economy. The only thing we can control is our daily actions, right? For example, you decide in the morning whether or not you're going to hit snooze or if you're going to get up to your alarm, right? When you wake up in the morning, you get up, you go to the bathroom, and you decide whether or not you're going to brush your teeth, right? I know it sounds so simple, but Stick with me here. When you're hungry, if you're home, you walk to the kitchen, open the fridge, grab something to eat, and you literally hold it, put it in your mouth, and start eating. So I just want you to get where I'm going with this. How you look physically is a direct reflection of your daily actions in regards to your physical health, right? Whether you're exercising or not, and what you decide to put into your body. So if you're watching this video now, I'm willing to assume that you aren't too happy with this reflection in the mirror that you see. And again, it's not so much that the reflection that matters, it's the actions you've been taking that led up to this point. So if you spent the last few months or even years eating junk, drinking, you probably feel like you've been eating junk and drinking, right? This feeling is negative and it only adds to a negative mindset. So take accountability for your actions, right? Start taking actions that solidify your positive mindset. So by doing this, by taking action, it creates this tangible evidence of progress and capability, which in turn it reinforces self belief and optimism, right? So consistently acting on positive thoughts and goals help build habits that align with a positive outlook, making it easier to maintain and strengthen that mindset over time. So if you start eating correctly today and you start seeing results tomorrow, right? Or not even seeing results, feeling results, right? You feel better. It's going to reinforce that mindset that you're doing the right thing. So even if you don't know how to count macros, right? If you don't know how to exercise properly, and like I said, if you click the link in my bio, there's a free guide that briefly goes over these things, right? Even if you don't know any of those things, you can still start today, right? Cut out all the fast food, right? Start eating whole foods. Stick to lean protein options when you eat, right? Stop drinking sugary drinks, right? Get sugar-free options or drink more water. Like real simple things that you can implement literally today, right? And if you don't have a gym membership, if you don't know how to exercise correctly, just take a 30-minute walk, right? Stop what you're doing, go for a walk once a day. If you want, you can get on the floor, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, right? Get the blood flowing. These are literally all things you can start doing today. And I want to really drive this home that you cannot think your way into a positive mindset, right? You have to act your way into it, right? You have to reinforce your mindset with action. So, and the action has to be aligned with the person that you want to be, right? If you want to be fit, do what a fit person would do. If you want better finances, do what someone who has really good finances does. If you want better relationships, figure out what people are doing to have better relationships and act on it, right? And building the body, this is the quickest way to take actions. And the results will reveal themselves the quickest because although you might not see that reflection in the mirror change, just eating better and exercising will have you literally feeling better within a few days. And by making this shift and acting on it daily, you'll feel much better about yourself, which allows room in your mind for this positive mindset. So I know that was a lot. Hope it made sense. I just want to go over a quick recap. Begin by removing the things that promote negativity and fill those with that of which promotes positivity, right? Once you do this, come up with a plan of action to get in shape, right? Because getting in shape will change your life, right? It'll teach you valuable lessons that translate over to all other areas of your life. It'll teach you how to take action, right? And that action will solidify this new change in mindset. So this is a process. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. But I believe you owe it to yourself to be the best you possible. So don't end up another statistic, right? And re- understand that your success will inspire those people around you, because what good is achieving all of these things without being able to share that success with others? And like I said, others will see it even if they don't come up to you directly. You never know who you're inspiring by simply making a change about in yourself. So thank you for watching. I hope you found this content useful. If you did, please subscribe. Again, click the link in my bio for a free guide. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.